Miller Mahdeevan with 8451 here. Welcome to another episode of The Uplow'd. We're glad you're here. Each month we dig into the world of AI, thick data, machine learning, data science. We invite you to stick around and let us know what you think. Keep an open mind and stay curious.
Welcome to The Uplow'd by 8451. I'm your host, Dan O'Keefe. With us today on this episode, we're talking personalizing the customer experience in the Kroger app. That's a lot. With Kate Cullen. Welcome to The Uplow'd, Kate.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So speaking of being here, you flew in special just for us, right?
Did.
From Virginia Beach.
I did.
Welcome.
Thank
That's
you.
great. So Kate, your title is Lead Consultant of Product, Strategy, and Innovation at 8451. Can you tell us what path led you to that role?
So the path that led me to 8451 in this role beforehand was I graduated from Purdue University back about 5 years ago and started in the grad program at Eli Lilly. But when I was at Lilly, I was on one of the brand teams and tasked with figuring out what worked well for the brand. And we worked with a lot of different agencies who would make suggestions of how we should spend our marketing dollars. And ultimately, I felt like we didn't have enough data to be able to make those decisions effectively, which is when I really started thinking that maybe marketing wasn't for me. But I happened to see that dunnhumby and Kroger had announced 8451 in the buyout there and knew that it was a hub for data from growing up in Cincinnati and emailed my resume in to HR and had a job here 2 weeks later. So
And did that fulfill the data need you had?
that has. I'm swimming in more data than I could have ever dreamed of.
All right.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Glad we could help you out there.
Yes.
So let's get back to where you're from, right? Or where you live now. You're from Cincinnati, where
Yes.
we record this, but you are now in Virginia Beach, so you work remotely.
I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about how 8451 helps you do that and what that's like?
Yes, so I started at 8451 in Cincinnati. I grew up in Cincinnati on the Indiana side and always had lived here through my childhood. But I worked in the office for about 2 years, and then my husband is in the military, and he's stationed out of Virginia Beach. And so I worked with 8451 to figure out a deal to be able to work from home. And I've been in Virginia Beach now for 2 years.
That's great. All right. Well, and we appreciate your husband's service.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a bit about your team's mission here at 8451?
Yes, so I work on the product strategy and innovation team, and what we're tasked with is ultimately determining how do we improve Kroger Precision Marketing. So Kroger Precision Marketing is a portfolio of advertising offerings from using Kroger data that we launched back in October of 2017. And I like to consider our team as the think tank, if you will, of Kroger Precision Marketing. So we come up with all the different solutions, the business rules behind them, and the strategies that are tied to them. Mm-hmm. And I work specifically on our on-site solution, so our direct-to-consumer channels, so email, push notifications in the app, even voice, things of that nature.
Gotcha. So then how can you tell us then how consumers are engaging with the app,
yes,
right? So
yes.
What does that look like for those of us who are consumers of Kroger?
We have about 10 million customers who have the app downloaded on their phone, and we actually have more Android users than iPhone users. And we have probably just over 30% of customers who are demonstrating preference to browsing within the app itself. So they find a lot of value in the app and the functionality that it's providing to them, whether it be downloading the coupons or having the search functionality or being able to check their account and things of that nature.
Okay. What's been most popular? Can you tell that yet? Or?
Coupons are by far the most popular
Right,
that customers
right.
are searching for. The top 3 destinations, it's always up within that. And so is search. So
Gotcha,
searching for individual
gotcha.
products.
And what about push notifications? We've talked a lot about that. How are those coming along, and what's the latest use of those for Kroger in the app?
Yes, so push notifications only launched recently in the past year and a half or so from the Kroger app. And we started in a couple of different divisions and have expanded out from then. So for only being a year and a half old and in its infancy still, we have quite a bit of subscribers. There are just over 3.3 million customers who have subscribed to push notifications. And there are 2 different types of messages that we push to them. It's marketing and transactional.
Okay.
So transactional focuses on their pickup orders, their delivery orders, anything that they're actually purchasing within the app or doing that is an official reminder, if you will. And then marketing messages are either targeted to them or mass marketing messages about fuel points or coupons for specific brands.
How might one of those messages read, or what's a typical message?
We've been working on a lot of messaging around what's for dinner lately. So it might say, swing by Kroger tonight and have a 50% off coupon for a private selection frozen pizza. And that's really solving for that dinner need. So if it's brand specific, we definitely try and fit in the brand name, but you're working with under 150 characters within the body copy. So there's not a lot of text to work with.
Challenging.
Yes.
A little challenging, like Twitter. And so when users subscribe to push notifications, how does this enhance how you communicate with the customer?
So subscribing to push notifications actually unlocks a great deal for the customers, especially since we send exclusive offers to them through the app that other customers don't necessarily have access to. And those are targeted offers that are delivered to that customer's wallet that you can't find in the general coupon pool. So there's the benefit of that, but also subscribing to push gives them reminders about things like their pickup orders. So they know when to pick it up on time, and really working for that convenience play and always adding that value or that value exchange back into their communication with Kroger.
So, okay, we've talked about push notifications, but how much more granular does the technology get? Does the app get? So do you know when a customer's in the store? Do you know when they're in a particular aisle? Can you expand on that for us?
We are expanding our Bluetooth and GPS technology in stores to also build out different enhancements for the app or for push notifications itself. So we currently have beacon technology installed at the storefront to know, if customers are entering the store eventually. We also have GPS technology enabled where a customer can share their location through their app. Now, that's only using a customer's location when they're on premise. It's never tracking beyond that, only when they're in the Kroger store. But the way that helps to enable the customer experience is being able to deliver, a basket off offer, $5 off your basket because it's your fourth visit this month when they're walking in store, or to be able to eventually know their location in store and to be able to optimize their path to say, if you go down this aisle, it's faster to pick up this item on your list and then go to the next item. That type of thing. So we are embedding location data into our personalized communications to be able to communicate through the shelf, if we have digital shelf edge installed in those stores as well, or just within the app itself, or something like Scan Bag and Go. So Scan Bag and Go will be where customers can scan their items while they're shopping throughout the store and walk out without having to check out at the registers, which saves them, of course, time.
Right.
And of course, they can track how much they're spending throughout the store as well. So being able to use push notifications or app functionality to communicate with that customer while they're shopping.
So that all integrates with Kroger Pay and
yes,
everything else?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kroger Pay will be integrated with that too, where it will save customers, I believe, 16 or 17 seconds of time when they're checking out, because the credit card that they have set up on the app will also integrate with their Kroger Plus card. So you only have to scan one thing instead of having to scan your Kroger Plus card and then swipe.
Okay, great. And then how do customers' buying behaviors differ, whether they're digitally engaged or not?
So we actually see customers who are subscribed to push demonstrating quite a bit more buying behavior than we do from our average digitally engaged customer. So typically from your standard in-store shopper, we see a lot better engagement from digital engagement. But for push notification customers who we know are using coupons, they're actually spending 1.76 times more than the average digitally engaged customer, which is quite significant when you think about their share of wallet and what you can capture. And they're actually visiting Kroger 1.42 times more as well.
So they're feeling more engaged,
Yes.
From a personalized perspective.
Yep.
From a catering to their needs specifically.
Absolutely. We would like to consider it as, we're catering to that personalized nature and giving them those messages, like those tailored coupons that they're actually going to use and they find useful to them. And then, of course, when you have the ease of the functionality to be able to search for those products or easily place your order within the pickup functionality of the app or delivery, the results are showing themselves in terms of engagement and how customers like it.
That's fantastic. So it seems like there are a lot of apps with push notifications.
Yes.
How do you avoid spamming your customers, for instance, while still making Kroger Push count for customers?
Right. So any type of personalized communication or channel that we send out to customers, we really work to establish business rules around it to make sure that we're not spamming customers. So we had a cross-functional team that got together across our data science team, our best customer communication team, the loyalty and strategy, as well as Kroger's lifecycle marketing team to really determine, what are the business rules we should have in place for this channel for these marketing messages. And what we have laid out is that we don't want a customer to receive more than 2 marketing messages in a week. And then we don't want them to receive more than one in a 4-day period. So that's where we develop some automation on our end in terms of deduping to be able to make sure they receive the message that's most personalized to them within that 4-day period or within that week period, so that they aren't being spammed with unnecessary messages that they wouldn't necessarily find prioritized for themselves.
That's great. Do you hear feedback from customers about that, or how do you gauge whether you're hitting that mark?
Yeah, I actually, every single morning I receive an email with Kroger customer feedback in it about their emails or eventually push notifications if we get that plugged in as well. But a lot of customers, have a certain level of email engagement or push notification engagement that they prefer. And so we're always trying to keep that in mind when we're communicating with them through these, what I call high value, high touch, personalized channels.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. And then you've obviously done a lot of work developing the app and refining its functionality. How do you see this technology evolving in the future?
So there's a wide breadth of people within the Kroger enterprise who are working on the app, and it's hard to chase everyone down and corral it all together. But everyone has a vision of how it's all going to come together and working on different things. So there's, the in-store team that's working on app functionality for when you walk into the store. There's also other teams that are working on e-commerce functionality. So how does it play when you're sitting at home, surfing, through the app and building your basket that way? So the way I see it changing in the future will be very much led by easing the customer experience wherever you are. So in your home, if you've got a voice device, for example, that's where you can easily, holler out to Google, I want to add this item to basket. And we use our personalization sciences to know exactly what it is you want to add to basket. So if you just say milk, for example, but you purchase Simple Truth almond milk every time, that device doesn't necessarily bounce back and ask, do you want the Simple Truth almond milk? We just know, and we add that to your basket. Or in store, for example, being able to have, a pathfinder in store to be able to show customers your item that you're looking for is that, or that is on your list is up ahead. Here's a personalized coupon for that item for a bigger pack size or something like that to plus up their purchase, but also really provide that value exchange there too. So I think it's all going to be about anticipating the customer's needs and how do we enable that through our app experiences and make that easier for them while also plugging in the personalization, because everything should make sense from the app in the sense that we know exactly what they want, we know how they want to shop, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. And by the way, you mentioned using whatever your voice device is at home, whether it's Google or Amazon Alexa. So is that fairly easy to configure with the app?
We will be using Google only at lunch to connect in with the Kroger app.
Okay.
But there's a team down in Charlotte who's working on our voice connections and our digital mission here, who are working to ensure that personalization science is plugged in well before we plug in monetization, that type of thing to it as well.
All right, great. And now, Kate, it's time for the 8451 lightning round.
Okay.
That's right. You've been warned about this.
Yes.
Where we ask you a series of 8 random questions for 51 seconds.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So here we go. What is in your fridge right now?
Cookie dough.
How many books have you read in the last month?
I think 4.
Okay. What is an app that you hate but use anyway?
Google Calendar.
If you could disinvent one thing, what would it be?
Robocalls.
Where do you not mind waiting?
In traffic, if I don't want to go somewhere.
And how many dogs as pets would be too many?
It depends on how big your yard is, but I would say 3.
Okay. And what's your favorite way to unwind after a long day at work?
A glass of wine on my porch swing.
And finally, what's the longest distance you've ever run?
Probably just a 5K. I don't like to run.
All right. Fantastic. We made it. Well within time. Well, thanks to Kate Cullen for being our guest today. Hope you enjoyed your trip into Cincinnati. All right. Safe travels back. I'm your host, Dan O'Keefe, and we'll see you next time on The Upload.
Millen here. That's it for this month's episode of The Upload. We hope you enjoyed it and hopefully learned something new. Remember to give us a like and share your feedback. Until next month, stay curious.